Hey, I'm Jeff with Quick Overnight Camp. We are going to head out and do just that this evening. My plan is to camp at the base of the Bighorn Mountains in North Central Wyoming. We're going to be camping right along the Tongue River. I'm going to have my trusty companion Bruce the rat terrier with me. It's supposed to get a little chilly, maybe the low 30s, but not too bad. We're going to have a nice warm campfire to stay warm with. Might rain a little bit, but that's okay. We'll have a good time and hope you join us on a quick overnight camp. So we're very fortunate and blessed to live right at the base of the Bighorn Mountains in North Central Wyoming. We live in a little tiny town of about 700 or 800 people, and we live about 5 minutes from where we're going tonight. So we feel very blessed that we live this close to such a beautiful area. This is Bruce. He is a Decker Rat Terrier. He is a real good trail dog and good camp dog. Here are the Bighorn Mountains, part of them anyhow. So this road kind of winds around and ends up here at the mouth of the Tongue River Canyon. And this is where we will be doing our quick overnight camp right along the Tongue River. Right down here. And here we are. Before we get this unloaded, let's go check out the river. So here I am setting up my tent, the Big Agnes 3-man tent, and it's really not that windy, so I didn't think I needed to stake it down. After all, it's already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm only staying for one night, and like I said, the wind's not really blowing that terribly much, so why stake it down, right? So I'm not gonna. But lo and behold, whoop, and there it goes. So I drag it back, and I figure, well, I better stake it down. So that's exactly what I do. Lesson learned. So I'm using an Agnes, a big Agnes tent that I bought last year during elk season actually. We set up a base camp, and then last year we had a little satellite camp set up about 2 miles above base camp on the mountain. And I left that big Agnes tent up for probably 3 weeks up there, and it performed well. I think they call it a 3-man, but it would fit 2 people if you needed to, but certainly fits 1 comfortably. So that's what we'll be using tonight. And I don't like to sleep on the ground, so I purchased this low profile cot that goes in a dome style tent. And it was really nice during elk season. So that's what I am going to be sleeping on tonight. This is going to be the key to staying warm on a cold night out camping. This is a must-have as far as I'm concerned. Provides a lot of insulation on the cot, keeps you up off the cold ground, of course, and it's just the difference of a miserable night or a pleasant night right here. So I would recommend spending some money on a decent air mattress for your cot. This one here is actually self-inflating. It inflates itself most of the way. I'm using the a Kelty Cosmic 0-degree sleeping bag. Should be just fine for tonight. Like I said, it's supposed to get down into the low 30s, maybe the upper 20s. Down here by the river it might be a little colder. And last but certainly not least is a camp pillow. I've used rolled up sweatshirts, rolled up towels for pillows before in the past, but I tell you, nothing like having your own pillow. I actually bought this for hammock camping. It's a Grand Trunk brand, and it works. It's not like your pillow at home, but it actually is a pretty nice little pillow for camping. And that is going to do it for my sleep system tonight. That cot gets you up off the ground about 5 inches, 5-6 inches. Nice pillow. This tent has a nice spot for storage spots here. It's got a door on each side, which is kind of nice. You do have 2 people. You don't have to crawl over each other. Got another pocket over here. And we can't forget about Bruce. Bruce has his own little sleep system right here. This bed with a nice full blanket. Oh yeah. Come here. This is gonna do just fine. What do you think, Bruce? About time to build a fire, huh? So there is a fire pit, fire ring down here, but I want it up by the tent. So we're gonna collect some rocks and make a new fire ring up by the tent. What we're gonna do. All right, fire ring is complete. Time to get some flames going. Wind's kind of picked up a little bit. Hope that goes down. All right, we got the logs burning down, making some nice coals. About time to cook. We're going to cook up a nice New York strip tonight, some asparagus, some mashed potatoes, and hopefully some gravy. And I've got this old lantern here. It was actually made in 1962. It's a Coleman single mantle lantern that my father refurbished and gave it to me. So it's kind of special. We're going to be firing that up here in a little bit. Get things going. Shooting for 145 because I like my steaks medium. So that's what we're going to shoot for. All right, so there we have it. No gravy. Ran out of pots to cook in, so we're just doing butter on the mashed potatoes, but it is looking pretty good. Very good. New York strip, about perfect. Mm. Mm. This Traeger beef rub's kind of been my go-to for all my beef stuff, especially like a brisket or some other chunk of beef, roast beef we put on the Traeger. We rub it down with that beef rub, but I've been putting on, I'll put it on hamburgers or certainly steaks, and it's been really good. Now what's Bruce get? Well, Bruce is going to get some leftover turkey. Bruce is going to get some leftover turkey. So he's not left out. It actually turned out to be a pretty nice night. The wind went down. We're just sitting here enjoying the campfire before we turn in for the night, Bruce and I. So this is my first overnight camping video, and I learned quite a bit. I learned that it's a lot harder than it looks to film the things you're doing. Setting up the tent, starting the fire, making the fire ring. It's a lot more difficult than what I thought. So I've got a lot to learn. Another thing is I purchased a tripod for my camera, which is my iPhone 15. I purchased a tripod at Best Buy a few days ago, and that's what I was using to begin with, and that broke right away. I pulled on the thing to extend it, and broke right off, so I had it kind of doctored up with duct tape and a stick. That worked for just a little bit, but it needs to go in the trash. So right now I'm just using my little handheld tripod. So I've learned that you should not be afraid to spend money on good products, which typically I'm not afraid to spend money on good material, but I kind of skimped on that. I guess my thought is I just am kind of getting into these YouTube videos in my YouTube channel, and I didn't want to spend too much money on things and just to get going, So I learned my lesson there. I need to go out and buy a decent tripod. But yeah, what a beautiful night. It was supposed to rain tonight, and it still might a little bit, but the wind died down, and the fire is warm. Bruce is running around acting skittish and nervous because now it's dark, and he's not sure what to think. But we are in bear country and mountain lion country. This time of year, of course, the bears are sleeping. They should be waking up any time. I guess it's not totally out of the ordinary that one would be up and about right now. It's the end of March. but I'm not too concerned about that right now. But Bruce seems to be quite skittish tonight, looking around out in the dark, but that's fine. So yeah, as we go with these videos, I'm sure that they'll get better as time goes. When I start to implement the things that I've learned, and everything just becomes more natural. But we're having a good time doing it for sure. I've got some things planned for this summer, some places to go. Most of the time I'll be right here in the Bighorn Mountains, since we just live, like I said at the beginning, from this spot we only live about 5 minutes away from right here. To get to the top of the mountain, we live about 20 minutes from that. So there's all kinds of beautiful places to explore and camp, and I hope to do a lot more of this here in the next coming weeks. Do some ATV camping trips, some fishing camping trips, get down to some beautiful places that I know, get some good footage, and just have a good time doing it. And hope you enjoy it, and hope you come along on more quick overnight camps. All right, Brucey, let's hit the hay. Well, I'm not sure that's your bed. I think your bed's over here, Bruce. So let's talk about what do we sleep in? I know a lot of people just sleep in their clothes that they wore all day, but I don't like to do that. I like to take my old clothes off and put on, I usually wear these wool, not usually, always wear these wool, merino wool pants, kind of like a long john, but they're merino wool, and a merino wool shirt, matching shirt. And I also like to put on some warm socks. When you climb into that sleeping bag when it's cold outside, it's always nice to have a pair of warm socks on. I used to wear a pair of wool slippers that my wife knitted for me and felted, but they wore out, and I guess she wore out too because she didn't want to make me another pair. So I just wear a nice pair of wool warm socks and like I say, the warm breeches, and hunker down in the sleeping bag. If you have a nice sleeping bag and the correct sleeping system, there's nothing wrong with wearing what's comfortable like these. So that's what I do, and everything seems to work out fine. Come on, Brucey, let's get in your bed. Bruce, good boy, sit. Good boy. Bruce is tired, he's ready for bed. What a wonderful night we had. Camping and cooking and nice warm fire, a nice river. Just enjoyed it. Now, some of the best sleep I get is when I'm camping. When I go elk hunting, and I've got my big outfitter's tent set up with my big cot and all the luxuries that I have in there. Some of the best sleep I ever get is in that tent. And I can already tell tonight's going to be a good night. Can't say enough about this cot and this air mattress and sleeping bag. When you've got the right equipment, things are so much better, so much nicer. And little Brucey's got his equipment over here. He seems to be fine for now. You'll see, last time I took him camping, he ended up in the sleeping bag with me. So he's a lot bigger now though, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. He might get kicked out back to his bed. There is kind of a funny story about that night. I'm almost embarrassed to tell, I guess, but we were camping up on the mountain, Bighorn Mountains, and we were in my elk hunting tent, the bigger tent. You'll see that at some point. And Bruce was actually inside of my sleeping bag, sleeping with me. And we slept that way all night. It wasn't the most comfortable thing for me, but I think he thought it was probably wonderful. It was morning time. I could tell that the sun was coming up because the tent was getting light inside. And we were just kind of laying there in bed. I had to get up again pretty early and get home. But he was laying there. And I lifted up my sleeping bag like that and looked at him. And he looked at me. And then about 10 seconds later, he just laid there and started peeing all over me. Like it was nothing. And my legs started getting warm. I was like, what in the world? What is going on? There's no way that he just laid there on top of me and peed. Sure enough, that's exactly what he did. So that's why he's got his own bed tonight. And I think I'm going to keep him there. If he tries to jump up here tonight, he's going to get kicked right back down into his own bed. For sure. He's got to learn to lay there because he's going to be coming on all of my quick overnight camps. So he needs to learn where his spot is. He seems to be doing pretty good tonight. So anyhow, we are going to hit the hay and hopefully have a great night's sleep, and we will see you in the morning. Well, good morning. It is 5 o'clock in the morning and it's 30 degrees out. Ooh. And had a good sleep last night. Had that white noise sound of the river all night. You can probably hear it in the background. Bruce and I need to get up and get the tent tore down because I have to go do a little bit of work today. And just a little bit though. So we better get going, get home, get some hot coffee, and start the day.